people. How you doing? Thank you for joining. I appreciate you. Just briefly, we're going to be discussing today. We already are very aware and cognizant of what happened, the so-called court, you know, um, session that has been gone the other way around. We know that the Zoo is capable of anything, but this is an obvious judicial malady. Obvious judicial malady. But anyways, I want to thank you for joining. Today is Sunday, the 17th day of December 2023. I know that most of us are planning to travel. Most of us are planning to, we're having different plans for this season. I want to wish us all safeness or safe traveling, safe trips, and of course, safety in our celebrations in this season of celebration. We should not celebrate out of context. We should not celebrate on emotion alone. We should understand safety and caution. Lots of things are happening, and we have to be very careful so that we can be alive to do what we have to do and to also to move forward. I know that we've been, been away for a while, but please pardon me. We're trying to rebrand anyways. Hopefully, we're going to be having different approach to our program on this platform, BIAFRA Global Network, because we want to be very educating, information and TV and all of that, also educating our people, and at the same time also proposing how we're going to move forward. It is very, very important that we do that. Because lots of things are going on, and we have found that several stop, our program of freedom based on the fact that since people have capitalized on the sit-ups and to do what is on their mind, to bring themselves out and to give themselves it is always like that whenever it's to chasing after good things. Whenever you have to chase after good things, or you have to do the important in our national lives, our national life expects things to be we expect people to capitalize on it. It happens anywhere, and it is only what we do to address the situation that stands that would now tell them if we're free or truly ready for what we're supposed to do. I want to thank you guys. Like this video and share on the social media platforms. Very soon we're going to be doing some very critical, and hopefully as soon as we're ready for that, shortly anyways, it's not going to be long. I'm going to be letting us know we are going to now start the whole, educating and as I said, informative programs that will help to open the minds of our people so that we can learn from the mistakes of the past and the things that have happened. Remember that those who are part of what happened in the past are not actually pre-informed of what is about to happen to them. It happens to them, and they now gain experience, and we now learn from those experiences. And so those experiences, we can now understand wisdom by how we apply, checks and balances or the things we do to make sure that we don't get to such kind of situation. Anyway, it's going to be very brief. I'm not going to spend more than 15 minutes here, hopefully. Anyways, I hope so. The Supreme Court in the contraption called Nigeria has done the program of the colonial masters. It's the design, and you should not be surprised because if Britain has been quiet all this while, that a citizen who traveled on the passport of the British government or the British system could get into this kind of situation, and they are mute, they are not saying anything, they are not talking, their media platforms not saying anything. Over the time, I like listening to BBC because I want to see the things they concentrate on and to try to understand the things that are of interest to them. And when you observe that, you discover that they are always talking about human rights abuse in Afghanistan, human rights abuse in Iran. They're always talking about, human rights abuse. In fact, they were just over the time talking about how Russia, and the Wagner group, or Wagner, how they call it, Wagner. So some call it Wagner. I don't know. I think it spells. It begins with R, so, W. So it should be Wagner. Anyways, it depends on the indigenes how they pronounce it. Now, how the Wagner group, is capitalizing on the situation of the Central African Republic and has now taken over that country politically, economically, and all of that, and exploiting their gold and all of that. I always wonder when I see our people celebrating Russia. I am not siding any of them, whether Russia or Britain, any of them, because I believe that the key to your house, they out your house, and they would want to get what they think they can get based on the fact that they have access to your house. And it is natural with human behavior and with the behavior of creative things that we always want to take advantage of. That is why in a sense system, you apply the dictate of control or checks and balances. Checks and balances. That is what the control is. Not controlling people by manipulating them, no, but by stipulating checks and balances so that people's actions can be curtailed, people's behaviors can be managed, and all of this stuff. And that is one of the major things we are lacking in Biafra project. When you come and when you talk about checks, when you talk about balances, when you talk about putting things in perspective so that people don't abuse, the opportunity they have in the context of or in the alibi they always want to narrate about the reason why they do what they do. People begin to fight it. Biafrans, the same Biafrans who want a sane society, who are looking forward to having their own nation away from Nigeria, based on the fact that Nigeria is an edifice of lack of control and an edifice of corruption and all of that. Yes, they encourage things that are of Nigeria character and features, and they want it to be applied, and yet want to have a same nation or Biafra. How is it going to happen? It's not going to happen. The law here is it is natural and it is supernatural. That when you encourage, whatever you bind on earth is found in heaven. Whatever you sow, you reap. So these are strategic laws, and these are things that we have to understand in perspective and also apply them very strongly to what we're doing. Now, please, I want you to understand that the problem we have in our system and the delays we have in our chase and our desire, our quest for freedom, they are actually based on how we have operated, how we have dealt with history, how we have managed history, how we have been able to learn from history, the things we are able to deduce from history, and the wisdom we are able to apply to today based on historical circumstances that happened to our fathers, our forefathers, and so these are basic. So if we want to truly make a difference and not have the repeat of history or the anomalies of history in our lives, then we must begin to seek deeply and look deeply into these facts. And that is one of the reasons why we're going to be rebranding on this platform, so that we can be looking at stories and actions of people in the historical past or in history. It's a history story past anyways. And we look at this particular narrative of what people have done, what people through, how people handle issues, how people were able to treat matters, how people were able to fix matters, how people were able to do the right thing and do the wrong thing, and all of that, and the repercussions, the effects, and of all perspective in life, what we expect to get in our generation. I want to tell you that we have a great challenge for us, because now it has become so sophisticated to control people. It's not a sophistication. It's not the fact that technology, science, and so many developments and things are happening in the world. These things definitely open up the fact that to really get yourself free, to really get yourself, in the perspective of, getting to get what you want to get in the line of being able to control your future as a people, or control your lives as people. It is a sophisticated program, and it is a sophisticated approach that must be utilized, or that must be planned and designed to activate that. And I want to tell everyone here, especially those now, that we have a great task, and this task is very, very critical, so that as a person, as a people, you must understand that we must come to put things in perspective and have a formidable plan. The Supreme Court carried out its judgment, and of course, you and I know that you cannot say that someone was there's a miscarriage of justice, or there was an abuse of somebody's fundamental human rights. He was extraordinarily renditioned, you agreed. He was tortured, you agreed. He was his house was invaded by the military, you agreed. And you state all this stuff. And I did an article making people to understand why the Nigerian contraction has a way of trying to give you a perspective that they agree to the lawless, that they agree to lawlessness. And after giving you that perspective, they now bring in sentiments to you locked up, so that you would base on the fact that you will now put your conclusion on the basis that yes, they agreed that this happened. They agreed that this is against the law. They agreed that this is illegal. But what then happens? Someone, oh, I have a problem with net now, please. Connected? Okay, hopefully. That's me. I don't know if that's a problem. Please bear with me. I know the network sound like it's dropping here. I don't know if I'm coming up. Anyway, so continue. Now, if you agree that somebody's human rights were abused, or you agree that somebody's property is stolen, what do? You take the property, you take that, and you are able to get the person who stole that property, and you say, yes, you stole from this person. What do? You take what was stolen and hand over, and you now give your judgment on the person who stole from that person. Now, the Supreme Court, the so-called appellate court, agrees that Mazi and Kanu's, Mazi and Kanu's right, abused. He was extraordinarily renditioned, which is illegal internally and locally. They agree that he was also, abused and illegally attacked, and the attack on his life. They agree to all of these things, and then yet they still say that the person who is abused and who has been dealt with illegally should still be remanded, even after a part of the court said that he is acquitted, because there's no charges against him. That's known to law. And of course, you saw what Mazi posted in 2019. There's a particular article he made on Twitter, now X, where he talked about subsection and section. And 36 subsection 12 of the 1999. You cannot even try someone, to with a law that's not known in the Constitution.